It's here, a game day week that will go down in history. Just 6 days until kickoff of the Alabama-LSU battle on the gridiron. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Matt McCoy. On Saturday, the #2 Alabama Crimson Tide will take on the #1 LSU Tigers in what experts are saying is the biggest game in regular SEC play in history. WVUA's Lynn Brooks is here to tell us about some changes you could see to the stadium and, of course, what head coach Nick Saban is saying about how the team is preparing for the showdown. Lynn?
Matt, thousands of fans will pour into Tuscaloosa Saturday, and the University of Alabama is making sure Bryant-Denny looks its very best. Crews spent the day putting some final touches on Bryant-Denny. They were busy power washing and cleaning. According to the Associate Athletics Director of Communications, Doug Walker, crews are preparing to paint the cement on the north end of the stadium to match the off-white University of Alabama that sits over the doors. Walker says the painting will start in the next couple of days, and it's part of routine maintenance, but it will also make the stadium look more formal just in time for that big game. Those changes will be in place just in time for the first time the #1 and #2 team have met during the regular season. Both Alabama and LSU are rested up after coming off a bye week last Saturday. Last year, LSU came out on top in Death Valley, winning 24-21. And today, head coach Nick Saban says he wants the players to look at this game as an opportunity.
Certainly, we want to prepare and play our best football in games like this, and it's an opportunity that our players have created for themselves by what they've done, and they should look at this game as an opportunity for them to accomplish some of the goals and aspirations that they set for themselves early in the season.
Kickoff for the big game is set for 7 p.m. at Bryant-Denny. Of course, Alabama's home team is the place you can turn for the very best Bama coverage. Matt?
Thanks, Lynn. Now, with a game of this much magnitude coming to UA, game day organizers are taking some much-needed steps to make sure everyone can handle the fans making their way to T-Town. Jenna Johnson with UA Game Day Operations says they're expecting about 140,000 fans at the Capstone, but not every one of those fans has a ticket to the game, so they're expecting a record number of tailgaters. Johnson says they're expecting 1,700 tents on the quad, but don't worry. Even though the campus hasn't seen that many tailgaters before, Johnson says there will be plenty of room for the fans all around campus. The excitement of the surrounding the game oftentimes leads to fans pushing their limits when it comes to celebrating. And Tuscaloosa Police Sergeant Brent Blankley says because of the late kickoff, alcohol could be a problem. Blankley says if police sees anyone intoxicated, they will immediately go to jail. Meanwhile, Edgar Calloway with North Star Paramedic Services says they are too preparing for a record number of fans.
We're making sure that all of our staff is available for the weekend. We'll be putting on additional ambulances and paramedics, people to respond to calls. We'll have additional dispatchers on to answer the call volume.
Blankley says the Tuscaloosa Police Department will almost have everyone officer available on hand during and after Saturday's game. Stores in Tuscaloosa are having to prepare for the big game. The owner of the Alabama bookstore, David Jones, says he's been preparing for the big sales weekend since before the Tennessee game. Jones says he ordered about 1,000 game day shirts for the Alabama-LSU game and has brought extra help to handle the amount of fans that will be buying merchandise. Jones says he expects so many people because a lot of people want to come and be a part of this historic matchup.
I mean, people just want to say I was in town for that weekend or I was there at the game. There'll be so many people in town on the quad and on the strip watching that couldn't get a ticket. There'll be 30,000 people around that within a half mile of this area that couldn't get a ticket.
Jones says they have a final score shirt design made if Alabama wins, but he plans not to see the design until after the game is over because of superstitions. And of course, be sure to tune in this Saturday for Crimson Tide kickoff. Gary Harris and John Huddleston will have previews of all the big SEC matchups and, of course, a complete breakdown for the Alabama-LSU game. They'll also have interviews and special reports. That's this Saturday morning at 8 o'clock right here on WVUA. In your Home Team Education Watch, principals and administrative staff from around Tuscaloosa County showed up tonight at the Board of Education meeting with a message. WVUA's Bradley Whittington has more.
Ever since the Tuscaloosa County school system failed to make 100% of yearly progress, the school system and the school board have been under some heat. But Tuscaloosa County Superintendent Dr. Frank Costanzo says people need to look beyond the scores.
When I'm asked, are we a failing school system, the answer is no, we're not. And you saw the group of students that unfortunately didn't cause the system not to make AYP and other schools not to make AYP.
At Monday's meeting, several principals and administrators from county schools stood together and let the board know that they are doing their job. Duncanville Middle School Principal Dottie Dockery spoke on behalf of the principals.
We are not a failing school system because we understand that every school has children that are progressing and learning. To know and understand that our system is marked by No Child Left Behind standards, but that we see improvement and progress in every child. We know we're not failing.
Dockery also spoke on how the April 27th tornado brought the principals closer together.
It is amazing how the strong winds of the April 27th tornado could not blow away the love for each other in this system. It helped us to remember that when one of us hurts, we all hurt.
We have the best principals in the state of Alabama. They're powerful. They see things very well.
Reporting in Tuscaloosa, Bradley Whittington, WVUA News.
Principals say the purpose of tonight was to focus on the good things in the county school system and get away from the negativity. The issue of how the board receives records from county schools was also discussed at tonight's meeting. In the past, individual board members were able to request public records from schools, but tonight, members agreed Superintendent Dr. Frank Costanzo will need to give permission after hearing a legitimate reason for needing to obtain them. No vote was taken on the new policy tonight. All Tuscaloosa County middle and high school libraries will soon be adding a new book to their collection. At tonight's meeting, Bryant Bank and Bryant Museum donated several copies of When Winning Was Everything. All libraries will receive one copy of the book. When Winning Was Everything, written by Delbert Reed, recounts the service of Alabama football players during World War II. Well, kids flooded neighborhoods in West Alabama tonight to get their fill of sweets. Oh, penguins, princesses, and yes, even parents were on the streets for their chance for the candy jackpot. From Reese's to Laffy Taffies, all of them were passed out the doors. Our crew saw one neighborhood that was so packed with ghouls and goblins, police had to direct traffic. And it was a great night to be out there with the witches and goblins. With the first look at Alabama's home team forecast, here's Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott. Hey, Richard.
Hey, Matt, good Halloween night to you. Getting cold out there now. Temperatures back down in the 40s, 45 degrees. Tuscaloosa, some 30s on the board back in Greenwood, Mississippi. The warmer spots out towards the north and west. In fact, Memphis, Tennessee, 50 degrees right now. That bus stop forecast early tomorrow morning. Yeah, going to be a bone-chilling start to the day, so bundle up. You are going to be outdoors early tomorrow morning. 7 o'clock around 35 on average. Cold out there. Some places closer to 32 starting off tomorrow morning. How about the rest of the forecast, though, and the game day weekend forecast? Join us for home team weather is coming up.